Good afternoon, everyone. Kevin Henderson, Grayson County Judge Executive. Wanted to update you on COVID-19, Grayson County. First, before we get into that, I want to let everyone know that we got notified by the state, I think it was late Friday afternoon, that Watson School Road, which a lot of folks might not know where that's at, but the folks that do use it know exactly where it's at. It's a cut through between Sunbeam Road and Lilac Road. That bridge has been condemned by the state. The state has condemned it, and it has been closed. So the folks that live on that road, one side can go out the Lilac Road side, the other side can go out the Sunbeam Road side. And just to let everyone know, I've got with Senator Meredith and Representative Samara Heverin, and they are working to try to get that expedited as quickly as possible, because it was on the Bridging Kentucky program for 2021. It just happened that it failed before they could get it replaced. So just that's one thing I want to let everybody be updated on. Next is seniors. Of course, everybody heard the news yesterday that there probably isn't going to be any school for the rest of the year till the new school year starts. And Superintendent of Schools, Doug Robinson, is here with us today, and he's got some news for the seniors and for the rest of the Grayson County School District. And I want to let the seniors know that you can, anyone that wants, some of you seen the signs that's going up around the courthouse, feel more than welcome to put your signs up there on that lawn. It's the least we can do to honor those seniors. They don't deserve this, and quite frankly, none of us do, but it's something we're going to have to deal with, and we're going to do whatever we can to honor those kids with the seniors, the class of 2020. So feel free to put your signs up there. And so with that, I want to introduce Doug Robinson, and then we'll get into the numbers on what we're going to update you on there. But first, I want to introduce Doug Robinson, Superintendent of Grayson County Schools.
Thanks, Judge Henderson. I appreciate the opportunity to come in today, and we do have a couple announcements. We had a conference call with the governor yesterday about ceasing all face-to-face classes for the rest of the school year. And so we were kind of working this morning through some different admin meetings, and I'm going to make an announcement on when the last day for students will be this school year, which is going to be Wednesday, May 6th will be the last day for the students doing their NTI work. Now, those dates come into play a little bit because we sent work home through May 1st, which ended up being 30 NTI days. We will not be getting any more work out other than the work that's already been delivered to all the students. So through May 1st, you should have all the work. May 6th will be the last day. Well, there's 3 days in there. That Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be catch-up work, conversations with just getting everything wrapped up there for the school year. So the work that you have, that's it. So a light at the end of the tunnel. The work that you have through May 1st, it will be all the NTI work, and then finishing up by May 6th. Now, our staff will have to do some more days outside of that May 6th date. But the legislation passed, Senate Bill 177, this past spring, that allowed us to make some adjustments to the current law on the number of day requirements. It went into giving us the flexibility of getting 1,062 instructional hours in to finish out the school year with our students. So we've used that emergency legislation that was passed this spring. So with that being said, that comes into one of the conversations everybody's talking about is, what about graduation? What about seniors? We don't have the answers at this point, other than I had a virtual meeting this morning with our counselor and some of the admin meeting at the high school. And we started having the conversations about what that could look like. Do we try to do something here towards the end of the school year for our seniors? And here's kind of what comes from those meetings. I think our senior counselor and one of our assistant principals is going to meet with some seniors, senior leadership, of that class tonight. They're going to try to get some input from our seniors about what that could look like, and then try to start moving forward. And I know Judge Henderson and I spoke last night. He and his office are totally on board to help us do whatever, whether it's doing something around the courthouse. And I know K105 just a while ago said they would be willing to do whatever. So hopefully in the coming days we'll get something in place and that we can start giving a little bit more direction about what our game plan and details will be. And I hate it for all of our students. I said this the other day of, we're not about these NTI days. We're about this face-to-face school, and we all miss that. We miss our students. And so, we know that's not going to happen for this year, so we'll try to move forward. Any questions for me? All right. Thanks, Judge Henderson. Anything come in, Sam, question-wise?
Thank you, Doug. Like I said, some of you that just might be joining us, they're working on a plan to try to do something for the seniors, and hopefully we get something worked out. And also feel free to put your senior signs up there. Of course, a little windy today. Some of them's blowed down. We've got some of the staff trying to figure out how we're going to keep those up, but we want to honor those 2020 graduates. So also food pantry, be sure if you have any donations, contact Debbie Childress over at the food pantry. Sam, have you got the number up down below? So the number's down below there. And any help for Grayson Manor as far as nursing, CNAs, anything like that, please reach out to them or the health department and let them know. I've spoke with Julie today, and they're doing good. They're really doing a phenomenal job, and like I said, they've got tough times right now. We just wish them well and just continue to pray for them over there at Grayson Manor. On the numbers, what everybody wants to hear about is we've got as of 2:30 this afternoon, 4/21/2020, April 21st, 2020, we have total test 243. People has been negative is 189. We have 36 pending today, so that number's gone up a little bit. And we have 18 positive now. So we have 2 new positives as from yesterday. And those positives come from a resident at Grayson Manor and a staff member at Grayson Manor. And both of them are quarantined, of course, and staff member at home, and the resident is quarantined at the facility. So residents at Grayson Manor, we've had a total of 5 so far, and which when we had one pass away, and so that's been since we started keeping track of that. And workers is 7, which one of those workers was actually is a former employee and has been before they actually tested. So, but that number is 7. So I wish we had better news today. Unfortunately, I think the numbers are going to creep up, and Josh is here with us today with the health department to talk about some different things going on in the state and what's going on here. And like I said, I wish we had better numbers. It'd be a really good day when we start seeing no positives, and a lot of tests and no positives. That'll be a good day. So with that, I'd like to introduce Josh Embry with the Grayson County Health Department.
Okay, thank you, Judge. So the judge had talked about the numbers and the 2 positives. And what I really wanted to talk about is what we're seeing in the state as far as testing is concerned. As you know, the governor released some standards that we have to meet, some benchmarks before he will consider reopening the state economy. And one of the things that the governor wants to achieve is to improve testing and to make it more accessible. So I'm pleased to announce that we have noticed a shift in the state that's trying to make it more accessible, make it more easy for people to test for the COVID-19 virus. We first noticed this about a week or so ago when the state came out and said that they were changing their requirements and that in order to get a test for this virus that you just had to be symptomatic. I think to better move forward in meeting the governor's objectives, they're trying to expand testing even more. So I think that the more we test, the better off we are. Now, with that being said, we've seen an increase of numbers. I'll talk more about that in a second, but we're going to continue to see an increase of numbers, A, because we are near the peak of this virus, and B, because we are testing more. So common sense tells us the more we test, the more positives we might be getting. So the next thing I'm going to talk about actually is a map, and I think K105 has this pulled up now, or is working on it. And this basically shows you an outline of the state. And I wanted to show people how we are comparing with other counties in the state of Kentucky. And this comes directly from the state's COVID website. And so you'll see Grayson County on there. It's in a darker orange, indicating that we are in the 11 to 50 category because we have 18 positives. You'll notice to the north of Grayson County, Breckinridge County, which is a lighter shade of color, indicating that they've had less positives. So I think we can all look at the data and understand, and this is not to point the finger at Grayson Manor, it's just looking at the data, that the bulk of our positives the last few days have come from Grayson Manor. If we take those numbers out and move them to the side, we would be very similar to counties like Breckinridge County. So again, the bulk is coming from Grayson Manor, not to point fingers, but just to show you a better picture of maybe things are not as bad as they seem. This outbreak is a horrible thing, but as far as out in the community, we haven't necessarily seen an increase. It's more coming from this outbreak at Grayson Manor. So we'll continue to monitor that and to keep an eye on that map. And it's my understanding that K105 is actually going to pop this map up each time I come up here to update you. I know a lot of residents in the county has wanted to be able to compare our county to other counties to see. And even with Grayson Manor in the mix, you'll notice that counties to our east and west, Ohio and Hardin being a much more populated county, we're not that far away, okay? And as far as the numbers are concerned, we're pretty much in the same categories, but that's with the outbreak at Grayson Manor considered. So point being, we are not a sore thumb at this point. We're not standing out as far as data is concerned, and I just want everybody to be reassured that we are doing everything we can that the state is equipping us with to handle this unfortunate event. The last thing I'll say is a good resource for people in the county is a website that I've actually been utilizing quite a bit. It's called healthdata.org. That website will show you data and the peak of the virus and the expected date that we are looking at the virus peaking. And then it will also show you the peak of deaths. So it's projected deaths per day. And what you'll be able to see if you go to healthdata.org is that we are actually at the lower end of predicted deaths. So that's a good thing. That shows that what we are doing is working. So I know there's some frustration. There's people who don't necessarily understand why this is dragging on. But the reason is we are near the peak. It's, I've said multiple times, it's a critical time that we be Grayson County strong. And we make sure that we are keeping reality in check at all times. So yes, it's tough. Yes, it's inconvenient. And yes, unfortunately, it's costly to the economy and to families, but it is working, and we are having good results. So I hope that makes sense for everyone. Does anyone have any questions? Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Josh. So, somebody did have a question, Josh, on K105s. They wanted to know who was actually cutting our hair. And just so you know, I cut my own. I was actually in the state police, and it's called Adapt and Overcome. So I've been cutting my own hair for over 20 years. So just in case anyone wanted to know, they commented on K105. So, but other than that, our numbers are, like I said, we've got 2 new positives. So both of those, one of them is a resident and one of them is a worker there. So just let's continue to remember Grayson Manor in our thoughts and prayers, and that we, we can, and we're doing everything we can to help them folks over there. They're good on PPE right now, and we've already reached out to obtain some more. So we're in pretty good shape as far as that goes. Everybody's working well with us as far as trying to get those materials to them. So if anyone's got any questions, feel free to call my office or call the health department 259-3141, or you can call my office at 259-5000. So, but everybody remember to stay Grayson County strong, and God bless. Good evening.